right, you bunch of yahoos, strap yourselves in for another episode of Dan and Don's Toxic Masculinity.
In other words, shut up, sit up, and pay attention. And welcome back to another episode of Toxic Masculinity. We've got my co-host, the meanest, fiercest fighter in the world, Don the Predator Frye, and yours truly, Dan to be Severn here. We're from Toxic Masculinity. We're here to entertain you in a masculine kind of way, and the world could use a little bit more masculinity ingested into it. So we're here to entertain, offend, defend, anything and everything that we care to. And, if you get a little bit offended about it, your prerogative is to either watch or not. That is still a choice you have. Better take that choice now, because who knows the way this wacky world is going, you may not have a choice soon. So, but anyway, there, gentlemen, Tony, would you like to introduce our guest there? Tony is the voice behind the microphone, the all-knowing, all-being Tony Martinez. Are you there?
Well, Tony just passed that buck to me. He's over there making all kinds of hand signals and stuff.
Oh,
so
okay.
Because
all righty.
This is my good friend for many years, Mr. David Hebler. I've known Dave since, well, at least the early 1980s. And his brother was actually my immediate superior in special forces when I was still in the military. And that's how I met Dave. And Dave's had a long career in martial arts, but what made him famous, so to speak, was the fact that he spent several years as the personal bodyguard to the king of rock and roll himself, Elvis Presley, and traveled with Elvis, was at concerts with Elvis, was at Graceland with Elvis, and has a whole long litany of fantastic stories about what it's like to be out on the road with the most famous rock star in the world.
Oh, you bet. Oh, Elvis the pelvis, you betcha. Oh, that's again, that's one thing I do love about the martial arts is like the martial arts, especially when it comes to kids, young people in general, it's the last frontier where students are learning true character traits about honor, respect, words that, you go into our school systems today and you got students that are threatening their teachers. And they're telling the teacher that if you touch me, my parents will sue you and stuff like this. I'm thinking, what has happened to this world? It was, I remember going to classes and having the Board of Education proudly on display, the paddle. And if you got out of line, that teacher had no problem lighting you right up, 3-4 swats, and that corporal punishment. To me, it's like, and now today, there is nothing for what these kids say and or do. There's no repercussions.
Yeah, no repercussions and consequences. Look at the idiots that are getting away with the flash mobs, flash mob thefts now. That asshole in New York sucker punched that guy, put him in a coma. You got dirtbags all over the place, and they're being treated like heroes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they don't get arrested, and if they do get arrested, they get let loose.
Yeah.
I tell you what, I'm almost 85 years old.
No way.
And I
Really?
I have never seen anything like this at all. You can I tell you what, you try to teach that woke bullshit to one of my kids and I will mess you up.
No, well, again, I would have never thought that you're 85 years old, Dave.
No one does. I'm pretty healthy, actually.
No, you're healthy. You're very sharp. You got a great wit about you there. The fact that you're still writing books at the nature, most people, they hit a certain age, and it's kind of like they just start sitting around and become something that dust starts to settle onto.
You look like you're taking care of yourself too, and that's the point. If you don't use it, you're going to lose it.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, well, again, it's
That's
people
for
like you
darn
that,
sure.
it's people like you that inspire me to continue moving forward. It's, because again, I'll say on a sad note, both of my parents are gone. And one
Yeah.
went at 73, one at 75. So, when I hit 64, it's kind of going, gee, what does that mean I have? Because usually you are a product of your parents, because they are what made up your genes and things of that nature. So you
Yeah.
start to think, gosh, what does that mean right now? Do I have 12, 10 years left? Do I have 8 years left? No, that's not satisfactory to me. That's why I kindly always say that I plan on taking father time into overtime for a couple rounds. We're gonna tussle a little bit in that overtime.
Yeah.
So,
All
no,
right.
what preoccupies your time now?
Well, I do a lot of Elvis stuff because there ain't no jobs for 85-year-old guys named Dave, especially if you want to stay independent. And that's exactly what I want to do. I live by myself, my own apartment. I do my own cooking. I do my own cleaning. I do my own errands. I do everything. I don't want to be beholden to somebody else. I don't want to live with my children. I want to stay independent until the day I die. So to keep busy, I do things that interest me, like talking to you and, fooling with my books. And I do Elvis appearances quite often. I
All
just got
last
him.
week, for example.
Pardon?
All last week, for example.
Yeah, all last week I was in Memphis, and I'm invited to do a 30-day tour in Europe next spring.
When you do like an Elvis, when you say you're doing these Elvis tour, is this like the Q&A storytelling and people can ask questions and
Yeah, the way we do it is I go with a band, an ETA band,
okay.
and we have a producer who's great. I mean, he's the best in Europe. He really is. And what happens is I come out and I open the show. And the way I open the show is, I tell them, I get introduced and they know who I am anyhow. And then I tell them about a 12-minute story about Elvis, the person, what it was really like. Then I turn the show over and the band takes over and the singing and all that, and they all do their thing. And at the end of the show, we have a meet and a greet. So basically we'll set up a table and we'll have me and like Dwight Eisenhower, who's the ET guy, and the drummer and the guitar player. And we meet the fans and we sell, autographed copies of our pictures and autographed copies of our DVDs or whatever we may happen to have. And we spend about, maybe a half hour doing that. And then we get out of Dodge and head out to the next venue, to wherever we're going to go. And repeat over and over again for 30 days, that kind of thing.
Yeah, but doing all this, admittedly, is there any like a little Elvis music that plays here, like a little bit of this song or a little bit of that song, just so that people get the, I guess that ambiance. I'm looking for the word ambiance there. So, you're talking Elvis and you're talking stories.
It's much bigger in Europe. The audience, every audience we go to is all sold out, number one. And when they start doing an Elvis song, everybody in the audience sings along with them. They know every word to every song. They know everything about you, or at least they think they do.
Well,
and they want to know more. They want the secrets to the universe.
That's one of the funny things that Don Frye will probably acknowledge the same aspect, because he's been to Japan a lot of times. I've been to Japan a lot of times, and you go to these karaoke singing and things of that nature,
yeah.
and I mean, these these Japanese people, they can't speak a lick of English,
Nope.
but yet they could sing this entire song. And if you just close your eyes, you would actually think that the real performer was up there performing it, because they hit all the vowels and sounds so perfectly. And then you realize when you have a conversation afterwards, they're right back to speaking their language once again. But
I know.
it's marvelous.
The Mavis, isn't it?
Yes.
That's incredible. And I love Europe anyhow. The people there are great.
What particular part of Europe are you headed to?
Pardon?
What particular area of Europe are you headed to? Because I mean,
We usually do like Norway, Finland, Sweden, Denmark,
Okay.
and the Netherlands, Holland. That place is amazing.
Holland.
Oh, I tell you, especially
The last time I was in Amsterdam,
holy shit.
Oh, oh, okay. See, those just say a word like Amsterdam. I think lots of stories I've heard about Amsterdam here
Well,
right now. So
the other
please
tell
go
you-
on.
in Amsterdam, you don't hear about as much, but
I'll
I
tell
know
you
of at
what.
least 2 clubs in Amsterdam that are 100% shrines to Elvis. And I know of 2 other clubs that are 100% shrines to Buddy Holly.
Yep.
They love American 50s rock. in
Rock and roll, you betcha. Good old fashioned rock and roll. Still
I
rock
tell
and
you
roll
what.
that soothes the soul.
Yeah.
I tell you what, Dan. If I were 18 years old again, and I knew about Amsterdam, I'd be there in a heartbeat.
we may never have heard from you.
Well,
I'd be there in a heartbeat.
Dave, if you do Finland this spring, you may very well get the prime minister of the country there.
She
Have
is.
Have you seen
beautiful.
her? She's a rock and roll chick. if
Yep,
I've ever
she's
seen.
beautiful.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, the most forward women in the world live in Finland. And I was warned about it. First time I went over there about 10 years ago, this guy says, look, you got to be real careful because these women here are like really, really forward. And I went, yeah, right. You know, oh, well, I never saw it. It was incredible. never mind.
What were you doing in Memphis last week, partner?
Every year they have Elvis Week during the week that Elvis died, the week of the 16th.
Yeah.
The week prior to is called the Elvis Week. And that's where they have all of these ETAs, all these people come and, you know, they meet all of the people and, you know, they spend money like it's going out of style. It's insanity. Like right now, if you wanted to go next year to Elvis Week, you're going to have to get a hotel room in Mississippi because there ain't no hotel rooms available. And they're not. It's you cannot. I'm telling you, when I talk about, I cannot come up with enough words to really convey what an insanity, what an amazing, incredible situation it actually is. But once you go there, and you know, like when they have the candlelight vision on the 16th, which is the actual anniversary of his death, they close off all the streets. The police close the streets off.
Wow.
Ah, it's just astounding. So,
How many people you would say show up to this event?
how many people?
Yeah.
Oh, I have no idea. Lots. They were everywhere. I sat for from 6 o'clock. From 10 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the evening, at the Elvis Pawn Shop. I did that for 5 days, And there was just one line of people after another all day long coming through there, looking at all the stuff, buying our stuff, saying hi, getting pictures, doing all that kind of thing. I actually had an idea this year. So prior to the event, about 4 months, I rented a room at a hotel about 10 miles from downtown Memphis, and I produced my own show because I could get the room for like $200. I bought some souvenirs for another $100, and I had 30 people show up and pay me $50 a piece to listen to me for a couple hours and buy all my stuff.
Now, all right. Now, are you responsible for Elvis taking the gun to the White House?
Pardon?
Are you the one responsible for Elvis taking the gun to the White House?
No. Elvis never went anywhere without a gun,
Yeah.
or two or three of them.
Yeah. I mean, exactly. I mean, he was a pro Second Amendment man, but I mean, to walk into the White House with a gun, oh, that's just Elvis. How cool was that? Now that is some stroke.
I tell you what, we're having breakfast. He was having breakfast at the Hilton and at the penthouse. And I was sitting, and he was on a couch, and he had enough food for 20 people. But I was sitting on the edge of the couch, and he's sitting right to my left. And the TV is on, and Elvis is eating his breakfast, and everything was standing there. And all of a sudden on TV, the actor Robert Goulet came on.
Yeah.
And Elvis reached down between the cushions of the seat, pulled up a gun and went bam, bam, and shot the TV twice. I was about 20 feet away, you know, running for my life. I don't know what the hell that was. You know, right? Bam, wow, damn, Elvis. And Elvis said, well, that'll be about enough of that shit. And put the gun back down and started eating.
I take it he was
So
not
I
much
got
of a
on
fan
the-
of
I got on the-
Robert Goulet there, huh?
Yeah, Robert Goulet. So I got on the phone and I called the manager and identified myself. And I said, you got a
You need another
TV
TV.
set up here that just died a violent death. So we need a new one up here like pretty soon, okay? I mean, it wasn't more than 15 minutes and we had a brand new TV up there, and they hauled the other one. I don't know. I guess they gave it a burial or something. I don't know what they did. But he would do shit like that all the time, and nobody ever called him on it, ever.
Wow.
I saw him try to shoot the can off a car driving into Memphis. Yeah, of course he missed. But that bullet went over. There was all kinds of fans just standing around in cars and all kind of crap everywhere.
Wow.
We were in that limo with the moonroof, and I was driving the damn middle, and I saw the can sitting on top of the car as we're trying to get through this gate, waiting for the gates to open so we can go in. And I went, oh no. Sure enough, Elvis stood up and bam, he blasted away at that can. Of course, he missed it. But nobody said anything.
How big a man was Elvis?
He was about 5'11", 6 foot. Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
He and I could wear the same clothes at the time.
Huh?
He and I could wear the same clothes at the time.
Wow.
So would you wear some of those white jumpsuits out at times?
No, but he offered 10 of them to me.
Just think with those things would fetch at an auction today, you know.
Go ahead, take a guess.
Oh, I wouldn't begin to guess.
Start at $1 million. Start at $1 million.
Holy moly.
Yeah, it'll bring tears to Severn's eyes.
Yeah, that's
Dave, is your car still in the museum in Vegas?
yeah. No, it's in it's at Graceland.
Oh, it is. Oh,
Yeah. The Lincoln.
Okay, are you talking about the car that Elvis gave him?
yeah. When I first met him, he was actually driving it, and I've ridden in it before.
Mhm.
And it was a car that Elvis gave him that then went to a museum in Vegas, right? And now it's in Graceland. That car's had a bit of a history of its own.
Yeah, I tell a whole story about that car. That Lincoln.
It was a very cool car.
Yeah, because there was funny shit that happened with that car. But basically what happened is I drove that car for 20 years. I put 250,000 miles on it. I sold it to a guy that owned an Elvis museum in Las Vegas. He also was the manager of Hot Boat Magazine. So he had mechanics and people that worked on boats and stuff that were available to him. So the car, I had blown something in the engine. So he's going to repair the engine, which he does. And when they when they fire up the engine, it all lights on fire. So now they put the fire out. Now they really got to restore it, right? So the car originally was silver, as you might recall, Jeff.
I do recall it as silver.
Yeah. And this guy hated the color silver, and he knew my favorite color was purple. So he painted it purple. The interior was that red velour stuff, they find in whorehouses or whatever. And he thought that was really tacky. So he replaced that with white leather with purple piping on it. Now that car today sits at Graceland, and you can go see it.
Wow.
It's the purple Lincoln. If you go there, go say hi to my car.
But it was one of the few Elvis gift cars that actually had paperwork signed by Elvis.
It was, the original paperwork was in Elvis's name.
Yeah.
And when Elvis found out about that 2 days later, he told his father, no, that's Dave's card. Give him the paperwork, so that he can and sign off the paperwork so he can go and put it in his name. And that's what happened. So I'm driving the car back, and I get stopped by a highway patrolman in Oklahoma City, runs the license plate on the car, and the license plate comes back Elvis Presley. Now the highway patrolman sees that I'm not Elvis Presley. So obviously I'm stealing this damn car.
Oh, yes, you're not Elvis. Yeah.
He pulls me over. He's got me up. All kind of, I'm trying to explain to the guy, right? And he ain't buying it. Yeah, right. You're Elvis Presley's bodyguard. Yeah, he gave me the car. Yeah, bullshit, right? And I'm going, no, man, listen, do you have a sergeant by the name of Sugar Smith that you know of? And he says, yeah, I know Sugar. And I said, give him a call, will you, please? And tell him, just give him my name. Guy said, all right. And he did. And sure enough, Sugar says, yeah, he's the right guy. It's right. It's cool. Let him go.
Had you done some work with the law enforcement at some point? That's how you know him?
Every time we went on tour, we would hire 3 or 4 local police officers, the real deal.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Because, to help out with security. For 2 reasons. One, they knew where everything was, all the good joints, all the good restaurants, all that good stuff. And they had arrest powers because they were real police.
Yes, no, I got you.
Thank you for watching another episode of Dan and Don's Toxic Masculinity. You better like, subscribe, and share, or I'm going to come to your house.